Such a weirdo. What is going on, everybody? What? Somehow we started the show without any technical difficulties. What's happening? So it's Wednesday. What's Wednesday?
It's our boss up. And sorry, I didn't mean to make you look at my boobs, but yeah, it's our boss up and list day. It's our all-day virtual listing party that we have in the Boss Facebook group. If you are not a member of the Boss Facebook group, the link is down below. You should be. It's kind of a cool Facebook group. And we kind of check in with each other as virtual coworkers and list our challenges or our goals for the day and kind of keep each other accountable.
Yep, it's pretty awesome. And guess what, guys? Yeah, we've got a third. I was going to say a third wheel here, and I'm like, that sounds really terrible.
It does.
Lorna's here. It's Lorna Palooza. Lorna, what the heck are you doing here?
Sourcing.
Yeah.
Finding all the treasures. Treasure hunting every day.
Yeah. So
till Friday.
Well, Lorna's from, not just from Washington, she's from like the tiniest little town in the middle of nowhere in Washington, right?
Yeah, there's like 9,000 people.
It's literally like a little island. It's the cutest little Mayberry town in the world, but because we went to visit her last year and we loved it. But there's nowhere to source, source.
I have one Goodwill and one small thrift shop, and I can find some good scores there here and there, but it's very hit or miss.
Well, and what's awesome is from Washington, how much was your plane ticket?
$100 round trip. I did take the trash can of the Sky Airlines Spirits, but it was actually not that bad.
It's only a 2-hour flight, and if you're by yourself, you know, it's not too bad. So, and then she gets to stay with us for free, and you know, we're super cheap, so we cook at home or we go and dine out on the cheap. So
yeah. No, and Katie cooking those kebabs for the last 2 nights. I mean, that's cheap meal and delicious. Very tasty.
Very tasty. Well, and we figured out that for you, well, you buy a lot of books, so you can send that home media mail. And then for clothing, I mean, really, if you send it FedEx, we figured out it's roughly around maybe $1 a pound.
Yeah.
To ship. So
yeah, if we keep scoring the good prices like we did yesterday, then it's definitely well worth shipping at home.
Yeah, so she comes and she buys a few hundred items and ships them back home, and because she can get so much stuff and the prices are good, that it still ends up being well worth it. So like all these people that say that it's really too hard for them to thrift and there's nowhere to source, you could do something like what Lorna's doing. Find a sourcing buddy, find a place to go, find a virtual sourcing buddy or somebody go visit family in another town and turn it into a sourcing trip and ship your crap back home. I mean, whatever you got to do. So
Susie Beach says that everyone's hair is on point today. And I would like to say, speaking of points, Lorna has a really sweet widow's peak. That's pretty awesome.
Oh, yes, I do.
You're funny. Yeah, so who was it that asked? I think it was Jameson asked about your hand up a little bit further. So her hand keeps opening up, so that's why she's got a little protector on it. And somebody had asked in the last show too, so it's pretty common. She's got the burn that she had on her hand is a 3rd-degree burn, and that was the deepest. And it's pretty common on stress areas like your hands or joints like elbows, knees, hands, jawline, that type of thing, areas that are constantly in motion. For wounds like that to keep opening and reopening, it could take up to a year or 2 for it to heal and close over completely. It's going to keep re-toughening the tissue and the skin on top and reforming scar tissues until it stops doing that.
Well, and this was the deepest injury, so there's like a lot of layers that were injured, and the thing is, like, I'm mainly wearing it because it's like I have a big Band-Aid on my palm, and I'm sure you guys, if you've ever cut your hand on your palm, it's like impossible to keep a Band-Aid on there. So really the glove is more to keep this Band-Aid on top of it. And like, how like in the movies or like television shows, they're like, we're going to do a blood oath. And then they take a knife and they like slice into their palm. I've like what, even before having a hand injury like this, I knew that was stupid. Okay, guys, first of all, blood oaths, let's just not do them. All right. It's just dumb. But secondly,
do the finger.
Yeah. Or
I've done the Blood Brothers thing with the finger when I was a kid.
I did too.
Well, but like, how about like somewhere where it's like not something that you're constantly, even the finger, but the palm especially, because it's like, why would you cut into it? And then they just act like, oh, just bandage it up and then I'm good to go. It's like, no.
No, it takes a while.
Don't do it. Say no to blood oaths, guys. Just say no.
Any truth to the rumor that eBay Open is going to be clothing optional this year? Well, that could be interesting. I might have to be rethinking my attendance if that's the case.
Susie, are you the one starting this rumor? I'm just wondering. Just wondering.
Susie, are you coming in flagrante? Is that what it is?
I don't know. Allison says a Band-Aid on the palm beats hair any day.
Corey is listing and listening. Good girl, Corey.
Yep.
So yeah, so do we have any? We've got 71 people watching right now.
Yeah. So it's Boss Up and List Day, so it's like, because Lorna's here, we're sourcing every day. But we have managed, at least I've managed to do a little bit of listing. Yesterday, I was able to do like 6 listings on each platform. Today, somehow, I did the exact same 6 listings on each platform because basically we do our shipping in the morning and then we try to list a little bit and then we take off and go shop. So it's like we have to find that balance too. Luckily, Lorna is a reseller also. So it's like, we're mixing work with fun, and
she's drafting while we're doing that stuff, and she's doing like,
I've been writing out all the measurements for everything and getting ready for draft. So when I go back home, when I get my packages in, all I have to do is photo and then list it. And I'm from Washington.
Well, explain where you're from in Washington.
So I live on the very tippy top part of the peninsula of Washington, so the very north. And you can see Canada from the next town over from me.
It's not like you can see Russia from Alaska, but it's kind of like that.
I thought you could wave to them from Alaska.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So it's a little town called Sequim.
Sequim. Yep.
Yeah. It looks like Sequim, but it's pronounced Squim. It's an adorable little town.
You got to take a little ferry to get to her town, and we took a ferry from Seattle when we went, and then you're right near a town called Port Angeles, which is where they filmed An Officer and a Gentleman.
No, that was Port Townsend.
Oh, Port Townsend. Sorry, I was close.
But a lot of films have been filmed up there just because of the beautiful waters and stuff. What?
Allison's saying Point Roberts. What's that? Where's that? Do you know? Isn't
that where Debbie lives? Point Roberts?
I don't know.
It might be.
I think that's where Debbie, from the Bossy Posse, Debbie might live in. Yeah, she does live in Point Roberts, I believe. But that's very on the border of Canada. I'm on the other side of that.
Okay, so a couple questions there. Has Dorothy listed her hoarder items yet? She's still listing. It's going to be a year. It's going to take her a year. There are thousands of items, and she's the only person doing it. So it's.
I actually went and looked at her store today because she's part of my team. So I was setting up tweets for our social media, and she's working on it. She's got a lot of the ornaments up and the cherish bearers.
I don't think she has gotten to the precious moments yet.
There's a couple, but not a whole lot.
I think she's digging through boxes, and I think the precious moments are further in to that area of where she's got stuff.
All right, the Vintage Fiend wants to know, how do we feel about Instagram as a selling platform?
I don't think any of us have used it as a selling platform.
None of it. Well, I have 2 Instagram accounts. I have my reseller one that's just my name. It's for the selling community, that kind of stuff. But I do actually have an Instagram account that's just my store, A Boutique for Him. And that one, unfortunately, I'm really terrible at keeping up on social media stuff. And every once in a while I'll get really excited and try and put stuff every day on that. So it's I haven't really sold anything on it, but I think it is absolutely, especially depending on what kind of stuff you sell, it absolutely is a great way to sell. And I think for me, because I do a lot of streetwear, a lot of vintage streetwear, which is super, super popular right now, and super popular with younger people, especially who are very active on Instagram, I am definitely missing a huge opportunity because I'm not cultivating that account. But I do think it's a great way to sell. I'm just not taking advantage of it, and these 2 aren't either. But then, so somebody else asked, Lori Rickson, any thoughts on Poshmark selling home goods category now? Lorna, you have some thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I started Poshmark last year and had no luck with it with clothing. So, but now that the home goods is available now, there's a list.
What did you do?
Maybe I can post it in the boss group. Oh, what'd you do?
Sorry, Vicky did something.
I was trying.
She started typing, but she didn't actually have the thing set right.
Sorry.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and close this real quick, but keep talking.
Okay.
The camera's
So
on.
I can post the list of home goods category. There's a lot of stuff you can sell, and a lot of the stuff that we all sell can definitely fit in those categories. I mean, up to blankets and decor, even like binders and folders. I don't know, arts and crafts. There's a long list. I read it to them out loud.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
So I'm definitely gonna give it a try when I get back. I'm like waiting. I can't wait to, because Posh is so easy to list on. I just didn't have luck. And I did the sharing and the following and all that, but I just never had the luck with any sales with clothing. I know it takes a lot of time and building those followers up and stuff. So I'm excited to see what Posh can do with home goods.
Allison says she's about to post reseller boxes on Instagram. She'll report back. If you're into selling menswear, vintage clothing, great. I don't know if you follow Allison. If you're on our show, if you watch our show religiously, you probably follow Allison because we talk about her a lot on Instagram because she has some fantastic stuff. But I would definitely be looking at, I'm going to be looking at her reseller boxes. She's got some great stuff. So somebody had asked what Dorothy's store name is. Dorothy's store name is, and I know she won't mind if I say this because she has it on Instagram and everything, but it's Pandy Finds. It's P as in Paul, ANDD, FINDS. It's kind of weird. I was trying to type it and I apparently screwed up our
entire screen, but that's okay.
So,
we got it.
Whatevs.
We didn't get it, but that's okay. I figured a
sorry. I don't know. I was literally, the cursor was there.
It was. That's why I was trying to get. I was just about to like get it in there, but anyway, whatever.
I want to. Can you scroll up so we can get the rest of the questions? Since now I've screwed up the whole thing. Let's see. Lori said, I have about 35 precious women. I'd be happy to rehold them at like $4 each if someone would like them. I'm doing it as a fundraiser for the church. They were donated to help kids get to camp.
Oh, that's sweet.
That's very cool.
Yeah, Jen, since we've never sold on Insta, so we wouldn't be the ones to be telling you how to sell on Insta 101 since we've never done it.
I follow a lot of Instagram accounts that do sell like in certain, niches, like books. I follow a lot of book accounts because I like to sell books. And they do really, really well, especially like vintage children's books, Bibles, all kinds of vintage books. And then I follow another lady that just does nothing but vintage. Her Instagram looks like Etsy, like an Etsy store. It's just nothing but vintage.
I follow lots of people that do
I mean,
too.
I do think that it's when it comes to something like Instagram, you're probably going to be more successful if you are working in a niche or you have like a specific, like she says, books. You're going to have people follow, because if you're a seller who just sells everything, you might have a harder time building a following because they're going to be like half the stuff 75% of the stuff you have isn't going to be their thing. Whereas like for me, because I do all men's clothing and within a certain kind of genre, you're going to build a following of people who like that kind of stuff, and they're going to pay attention when new posts come up.
Yeah, right. Like most of the people that follow me are not people that follow our other resellers, right? So it's other resellers that either watch our show or in our group or what have you. I have about 2,400 followers or something like that, and I don't think any of them are people that buy or have bought from me.
Well, because it's for a different purpose, which is why I have two different accounts, because they're two totally different purposes and like what you're trying to accomplish. So I don't know. Let's see.
Let's see. Jen's like, I'm social media challenged. Jen, I'm not much better. I mean, I try to post one thing every day on Instagram just to stay active, and I don't even do that. It's like every other day is pretty much what I end up doing. That's Kara posted the store name, but I don't know if you'll be able to find her store name that way. It's actually Pandy Finds is how you find it.
Seller handle.
It's like the seller handle. Yeah.
Well, it depends on where you go. What I've always done, my secret way of doing it is like I'll go to my user profile, because you can see where it says like ebay.com and then it's like user and then it's your username or user, whatever it is. You can do the same thing with like if you're in anybody's store, you can just switch out the store name. So it just depends. Like my store name is the same as my username. A lot of people though have two different names, and that's where it can be kind of confusing. let's see.
What do we have up here? So there was a question about pirate ship. Oh, Susie asked, when you ship first class international on pirate ship, the first option that comes up is the cheapest rate, but you have to click and scroll down to get first class. Do you pick that first one? It doesn't. First class international is the one that always comes up for me. It's not the cheapest one. I'm not sure what your if you put in all of your information when you're on pirate ship, if you choose whether it's a box or whether it's a bag, and then you put all of your measurements and your weights in,
It should
automatically come up with the right item.
Yeah, it doesn't. You shouldn't have
any options. You're either going to have first class or you're going to have priority. Those are the only two that are going to come up.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to see what's going on your screen, Susie, because I don't know.
I've never gotten the wrong one. I think you're coming up with like first class letter or something is what you're talking about might come up, but that won't come up if you put your measurements in.
Lauren, I can't fix your printer for you, but if you desperately need to get something out, do you have the library nearby you? Do you have like a FedEx Kinko's nearby you? I mean, that might be your last ditch effort to, like, if you need to immediately get something out. I know sometimes, I mean, I don't know what's going on with your printer, like I said, but yeah, usually I'm hoping that you have something nearby that you can go to.
Oh, okay, Susie, yes, the first one is export rate. Yes, that is first class, honey. Simple export rate is the discount program for first class international that you're getting through pirate ship. That's the one that you want. That's what you should be choosing.
Yes.
Gloria, hi, she's driving through right now.
Simple export rate is only first class international, so that's definitely what you want. So you
hi,
don't want to
Gloria.
change it. Gloria.
They're on their way home from Arizona to Oregon. They're driving through right now.
Right.
Oh, Teresa finally realized that we're on the show because she was messaging us like 75 times starting at 11.
Hi,
T. T-Money in the house.
Let's see.
Yeah, Lauren, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, your printer issues need to be, you have to figure something out for today and tomorrow, whatever. I don't know, like, what volume you ship at. But I will say, if there's any way, you should be on the lookout to find whether it's used or somehow get like a cheap thermal printer. It will change your life.
Yes, it will.
I resisted it for a long time.
Me too.
And I finally got one probably about 3 years ago, and I will never look back. And Katie didn't have one until she moved in with me, and now she's like, oh my God, what was I thinking?
Yeah, they're so much better. So I get it, and that's not going to help you right now. And they can be a little spendy, so you need to, like, just kind of maybe put some search alerts on like eBay and other places to see if you can get one for a good price. But they will change everything. So Jay says, I only sell on Posh, but she loves to watch us. Yeah, Posh, we get Posh is easy. We've talked about this before. We know Posh is easy. There's so many platforms out there, ways that you can sell. Like we were just talking about, people do sell and do really well on Instagram. You got eBay, you got Etsy, you've got Mercari, you've got Poshmark. You got all these different platforms. And we've talked before how it's just really important. It is important for you to be diversified, but it's also important that whichever platforms you choose, you're committed to them so you can put the time and effort into them to make them successful. And for us, Poshmark just isn't the right fit. And neither one of us use Poshmark. We have separate businesses, but we each have our own eBay stores. We each have our own Etsy stores. I know Vicki is toying with the idea of maybe adding another platform. But it's really a matter of like which platform.
Teresa's trying to talk me into, exporting some stuff to Mercari. The reality is that the only way I'm going to do that is if I find a program that cross posts to Etsy and Mercari automatically for me. And there is a program like that in the works, and I'm going to be checking it out and see if it's something that will work for me. It's not open to the public yet. It's not something that is for sale yet or whatnot. It's still being tested and created. But if it is something that actually works, then I would be willing to pay for a program that does that. I'm not personally going to be cross-posting. I'm not going to spend that time, nor am I going to pay a virtual lister to do it. So, or anybody to do that. Right now, I do pay my assistant to cross-post to Etsy because that is worth it for me. But to pay to do another platform, a third or a fourth platform is not worth it for me. But if there's a program where a couple touches of a button can do it, I'm all in it.
Yeah. Well, and you're up like 30% over last year right now. It's insane. So, what you've been doing is working for you, and you're looking for ways to expand. But I know,
No, Jesse, never mind. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, yes, Bonanza is easy. Bonanza I've been on for like 10 years, Greg. But honestly, if I sell, it's slowed down a lot because they've started using pushing more for you to pay, and I use their free version. I used to sell a couple of items a month on Bonanza. There's no effort; it's just an automatic sync. But honestly, I don't think I've sold 2 things in the last 6 months on Bonanza. So, you know, that's not. I don't really consider that I even have anything there. I forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing. Sellhound is $3 a listing. That's
horrible.
That's very pricey.
Well, because it's actual people doing it for you.
Right.
But
yeah. So, you know, I'm excited for them to find someone or find something. Like I said, you know, it's something that Teresa has introduced me to because she loves all that automation, all these new programs that help resellers, and she's super into that stuff like data mine and all that. And so I'm going to be sitting down and trying to figure out a little bit more about the program. And believe me, we'll talk about it, and Teresa will talk about it when we're able to. But if that works, if that's something that is a program that someone has finally figured out to make it work properly, I'm all about it.
Yeah. Jen is saying that she felt like she was a pretty good reseller and top of her game about 10 years ago. Then a whole slew of teenagers came to the game who already knew the game. But you know what, Jen? This is where I'm going to keep hammering home understanding shipping, understanding international shipping, doing your own international shipping using things like simple export rate with Pirate Ship. Because I'll tell you this, because of those stuff that I sell, I'm in different groups that are specifically for people who are really into vintage streetwear, and a lot of them are young, and they are scared of international shipping. They don't do it. Pretty much across the board. It's great. It's even worse than our regular reseller group. So I'm telling you, like, that's one way you can have a huge leg up on other people is by knowing your shit.
They don't know how to ship. They don't know vintage items very well. They may know current brands and new brands and things like that, but they also don't understand the whole holding out to get good prices on things. They're all about that fast flip and that fast dollar, a lot of the younger kids, and there's nothing wrong with that, but they're all about volume reselling. So if you look at Posh in general, there are very, very few Poshmarkers that are considered top Posh earners that are making anywhere near a 6-figure income. They're working their asses off to make you know, $50,000 or $60,000 a year, which is nothing to sneeze at, but they're working a lot harder for half of the money that you could be making if you know how to do it better.
Yeah.
So, you know, they may not have to know all of the intricacies because Posh seems to be a little bit of an easier platform. Some of the others do. It's just you know, it's photos and list, and the way that you do it is a little faster, maybe. You know, there's pluses and minuses to everything. So, you know, learning your craft and learning the trade and learning what you do does give you a leg up on that.
For sure. So Peg says, if I list shipping free FedEx Smart Post, can I ship it priority if it's cheaper? Yes, you can always upgrade.
Always.
The only problem is downgrading, because if you are saying it's going to get there in a certain amount of time, you don't want to downgrade because that goes against you. But if you're upgrading and shipping, great. I will say this is another example of where you need to understand shipping and what your costs are and what you're doing, because basically you have something listed and you're shipping, you're putting your method of shipping as pretty much the slowest way of something getting to them, even though you can ship it priority cheaper. So what you're doing is when people go to buy, to shop, and they see your listing, they're seeing it's going to take like 2 weeks to get to them, or however long it is. When in reality, it's only going to take a couple days. And really, for those items, if you can ship them priority, like, you should have it listed as priority so that it's going to show that it's going to get to them faster. You're losing sales that way, I promise. So, yeah, see, Emily says, I have all listings at free with generic economy. Okay, so just to get a little bit more specific, I used to do the same thing. When I first started, I had everything, I had standard, the economy standard. The problem is that the window that eBay gives for those, I believe, is what, 4 days? I think it's 2 to 4 days for standard. I changed that when they started doing the stuff with guaranteed delivery and showing, you know, I wanted to be able to show the smallest windows possible. So, like, for instance, all of my first class stuff, if you specifically put in first class, that changes that window to 3 days. Like the top is like 3 days. So that shortens your window by a whole day. So I would be careful about doing that generic economy when you actually can send stuff a lot faster. Because again, people want stuff quick. Those millennials, those youngins.
Mm-hmm. We use a thermal printer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we use a Zebra 505. I think it is.
So 550, something like
550 or 505. There's a lot of fives in there. It's either 550 or 505. It's one of the higher priced ones. I think we have it as a link down below, but there are, you know, less expensive ones. With that just happens to be the one we use.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we've already had 1 day of sourcing because we're pretty much sourcing every single day.
Speaking of Dorothy, Dorothy's right there. We were giving out your store name
Dorothy.
earlier. Dorothy, there is someone in the chat that is interested in your precious moment stuff. They wanted to know your store name. I don't think you have a lot of them or any of them listed yet from the Hoarder House, but they are interested in the precious moment stuff. So maybe if that person is still in the chat, if they want to contact you directly, I'm sure that there's a way that you could work out a private sale, private conversation between resellers, stranger friends.
Real quick, Susie said my niece just finished her master's degree in statistics. I took her to lunch and asked her what she saw herself doing now, and she said I'd like to try e-commerce. Susie, I have my my bachelor's degree in sociology, so a lot of statistics stuff that I had to take in there, and I have my master's in nonprofit management. So you can see what I'm doing now. But anyway, we went to 4 stores yesterday, and how much did we fill up the car?
Oh, like the whole back end.
Pretty full. We have a Pathfinder, so we have an SUV Pathfinder 7-seater.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Stopped by Walmart and got the 20 by 18 by 18 large boxes, and just from yesterday, one is full, and then I have another one full from this lady. But
awesome. So do you want to show us? Do you want to do a little mini haul since you won't be here on Sunday for our haul show? Show us a little sampling of what you got yesterday.
So they took me to some new thrift stores that I haven't been to here in Vegas, and I was super excited about it. I'm not too fond of the Goodwills here, like Katie. Goodwills back at home are much better. But so we went to this one. I don't even remember what the name of it was.
Deseret.
And the prices were amazing.
They are.
And I found 5 pairs of Clark shoes. I didn't bring any of those up, but most of you that do sell shoes know that Clarks are a pretty good staple piece. All of those were $4. So I found this. Just like her, love the vintage Hawaiian like muumuu stuff. And this is just, it's so pretty. It's like this patchwork vintage muumuu. It is a size small, but I only paid $4 for it. I'll definitely get like $50-$60 for it.
Are they like mushrooms on? Like what?
I don't.
They
no,
look like little mushrooms.
they do,
No,
but
I
they're
think
just
it's
like
a weird
flowers.
70s
patchworky
thing.
Yeah.
And then there is the lingerie. I love the vintage lingerie, like Vicky as well. This was $5, but it's just so pretty. Vintage, probably 60.
Yeah, 60s. It's got this real cute embroidered top.
Adorable.
Little baby doll.
Yeah. I got a couple of the like vintage Hawaiian type muumuus, house coat dresses. I found a Vineyard Vines girls dress,
which Vineyard Vines is pretty it's trending right now because of the Target stuff.
Yeah. And it's cute. It's got a little keyhole in the back. It is a girl's size 12 dress,
which would also fit a woman's size small or extra small, actually.
Yeah.
Girl's size 12 is pretty big.
And this one sold for $30 pre-owned, so an easy one. This was probably the most expensive thing I bought yesterday. It was $7.99, and I have never found a Trina Turk anything in my thrifting career. And this is a bathing suit cover, and I'll probably sell it for about $75-$80.
I think it's fantastic. Very Poochie-esque.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So
I love it.
One more. I did source a few kids' clothing because the prices are so good here. And I saw this and I was like, this just reminds me of my childhood.
I think I would have grabbed that too.
Just like this It reminds me of like Laura Ashley.
Yeah,
Like
that's the
that
back.
style.
That's the front. Look how cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was only a couple bucks. So
I would have put, my daughter would have worn that. I was telling her in the store. I dressed my daughter in that all the time.
Mm-hmm. Very cute.
And that was all I brought up. I got like a bunch of staples. I got some denim stuff. I found a vintage pair of Eddie Bauer bib overall dress, long one.
Modest.
Yeah, modest. We'll be using the keyword there. And just, you know, $40, $50 items, but real cheap. I mean, the prices are great. Compared to back home, everything would have been like $14.99.
Mm-hmm.
I paid $3, $4, or $5 a piece.
Well, you know, the thing about Deseret Industries, so that's the one that's run by
It's a Mormon. Yeah.
So that we have a couple of them, and you know, I like the store in theory. You go in there, it's really clean, it's really well organized. Everyone that I've been to, they're set up kind of the same.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always
It
been
didn't smell.
it smelled.
No, it didn't smell.
You said it did smell.
I'm like, it didn't smell.
No, it didn't smell.
But it's always been kind of mediocre for me. Like they have lots of T-shirts, but I very rarely find anything that's that great. And I don't know if like other people come in and buy it all up before, you know, it's just hard to find. I don't know. But one thing I did find, first of all, I found some really cool stuff, but I've recently been paying more attention to the women's clothes because a lot of T-shirts end up getting put in the women's section. Like usually it's like, because of the color, it'll be like pink. It'll be like pink or purple or blue, or for whatever reason, they'll decide, oh, this is a women's T-shirt, even though it's really either men's or what you call unisex
generic,
or whatever, just generic. And so I think those get picked through less often by people who are looking for the kind of T-shirts I'm looking for. So I went, and I was in the women's section. I went through I was kind of looking for like the sleeves, looking for that single stitch. And I found like 3 different awesome vintage T-shirts, like Screen Stars, and like a really cool one from like the 70s, and these great T-shirts because they were hidden over in the women's section. Like, who knew, guys? Who knew? Apparently not me. But so that's my new thing.
So now she's creeping into the women's section. I can't freaking shop anywhere with this one now.
Just for T-shirts.
I'm not allowed to go in the men's section. Now she's creeping the women's.
Have her go in the women's first. You go to the men's first.
No, I go to the men's first. I go to the men's first. And the thing is, most of the time I'm out sourcing by myself now because she's kind of over clothes. So I'm not taking stuff from the women's when she's wanting to shop them. I think every time I've done it this week, you didn't even bother to look over there anyway. So it's not a big deal.
I mean, I did buy quite a few women's things. I did buy a lot of good clothes this past week because Deseret and the places we were going, there were no hard goods. I didn't buy any hard goods. I bought some good shoes and some good vintage clothing. I'm just a lot pickier these days because I'm just, it's got to be a really good brand name, a really good vintage for me to pick up the clothing. I'm not buying a lot of bread and butter items. I'm just bored with it.
Well, and you like looking at like dresses because you love to find vintage dresses. So you vintage dresses, sleepwear and stuff like that. Like women's short sleeve knit shirts usually aren't like something big that you're looking in the women's section for.
Yeah.
Now, Lorna, you've talked about, we always talk about like death piles and like not having all this stuff sitting around that isn't listed. But Lorna, you got a little bit of a different plan.
I do.
You are actively trying to create a gigantic death pile.
I am.
What the F?
So last winter I was running out of stuff to list and I couldn't get anywhere. We had, just like almost everybody else, was under feet of snow, tons of snow. I mean, we got like 6 feet at one point. And I can't have that happen. It slows down your store when you're not listing. So,
and you're hours away from anywhere good. Just, I mean, she's hours away from Seattle or any major city where to go source. I mean, Seattle's great, but it's far.
Yeah, I would love to go to Seattle and thrift, but it's like a 3-hour trip, you know, if we drive, and a 2.5 hour if we take the ferry, and then.
Well, and you don't actually drive. So
no, I don't.
It's not like you can just, while Pat's at work, you can just like go and do it.
Yeah, and he hates eBay. Like my boyfriend hates eBay. He doesn't want anything to do with it. So it's very different. Duo, these two do it together. My boyfriend, he hates it. I mean, I even try to get him to sell stuff, and when he does sell stuff, he gets excited for the extra cash, but he don't care about eBay. So it's very different for me. So I am doing like a gigantic pile. I've already started. I've got like 4 or 5 big crates ready at home, already folded. A lot of it's already drafted, and then I have some that's I'm sticking away for winter, like I probably won't list any jeans until the end of August or early September because nobody's wearing jeans right now. Everywhere's hot. You know, I might sell one pair a month. So jeans, sweatshirts, jackets, unless it's like I know I can get $100 for the jacket. Like I found a vintage Patagonia ski jacket. I did list that just last week. But besides that, I'm just hoarding. I'm hoarding. I want lots of stuff. I'm going to put it in my spare room. And so that I don't have to worry this winter about, you know, having stuff to list.
So you said that a bunch of the stuff is in drafts. I've heard I don't use drafts. Vicky doesn't use drafts, but I've heard horror stories of people doing all these drafts and then they disappear. How do you deal with that?
Okay, you need to, they will disappear. After 30 days, they're going to be gone. If you're not working on them, and like if you, let's say you have 25 drafts up and your bottom 5 you did 29 days ago. You can click on those and do edit and it'll refresh them to the top.
Okay.
So you have another 30 days on those drafts. But if you don't, you lose those drafts.
Yeah.
I use drafts a lot. I've done up to over 150 drafts before. And that's kind of my plan is to, before I came here, I wasn't really listing because I wanted to kind of go home with a fresh, you know, get refreshed here, relax a little bit, have some fun, do all the thrifting, and then just want to work when, you know, it's nice to hang out with other eBay sellers because my boyfriend doesn't like eBay. So my environment's different at home. And hanging out with other eBay sellers, you get energized. You talk about your stores, talk about sales, you talk about strategy and what you're doing, what your plans are. So you get, it's like going to eBay Open, you know, you get that, you get a recharge. So,
not that we don't love her boyfriend, because Pat has
he's amazing.
Pat comes and visits too. We love having him come and stay.
And to be fair, Pat is super, super supportive.
Yes.
He just doesn't care about eBay. It's like
he'll drive.
It's like if your profession was like you were a hairdresser, and it's like he doesn't want to hear you talk about like doing people's hair or like giving people facials.
Yeah.
It's like that's just so he like right now he's at home shipping for you.
Yeah, he ships
he
for
will
me.
take you on trips. It's
yeah,
just
he's super
hard.
supportive. And when we went to visit her there, we went thrifting every day that we were there, and he drove us and hung out in the stores and did modeling, trying on crazy women's clothing
It's just
to make us laugh. He's just, you know.
Yeah, it's just the
But
business
those
part
don't want
of
to
it
make
is
it
not.
don't want to make it sound like he's not supportive. He is. It's just not interesting to him.
No,
So
not
they
at
don't
all.
do it together.
Yeah.
I mean, my whole house is eBay. My living room, my spare room, my office, my living room closet, my garage. We have a storage unit. I have my entire life is eBay. I keep it out of our bedroom, in our kitchen, in our bathrooms. But everywhere else, it's eBay. So he's very supportive of it. And he, you know, he even told me when we first moved in together, he said, you don't need to work. And I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. And he's like, whatever you want to do, eBay, job, whatever. So I'm lucky. I'm a good guy.
Lucky.
He's a good boy. He's a good boy.
So my goal is like 15 crates of clothing and stuff because I just can't make it through the winter. Last winter was horrible for me. So that's my plan.
Well, I want to say what I'm really excited about. So Vicky had pulled all this stuff when we were moving things around. She was trying to clear up some space, and so she had this huge pile of clothes for Lorna to go through and pick through and choose some stuff to take if she wanted it. Just because you're going for higher average sale price, Lorna, I know you aren't.
I'm
you
like
don't
40,
shoot for
50.
as high all the time. Anyway, and so you were going to sell it to her for what, like $1 a piece or something like that. And then at the same time, a couple of days ago, eBay just came out with these new box sizes, or they're ones that they used to have, and they brought them back, right?
Yeah, and they also brought back a few other sizes. They brought some few, like the so they're sizes that actually work with cubic shipping rates. They're box sizes that work with cubic shipping.
Yeah, but she's already used her coupon for this quarter. I haven't, and I was getting ready to order like my poly bags and stuff. And here comes Vicky. And she's like, hey, do you think you can get me some of these boxes? And I was like, like I knew I was going to do it, but I was still going,
because I was so selfish.
Whatever.
Because she couldn't wait 2 months for me to get her bags.
I didn't say no. I said internally I was going, but I said, okay, because that's what you do, right? That's what you do, guys. Sometimes you got to sacrifice. But then like 2 days later, Lorna comes. And Vicky's like, here, you can have the stuff for like $1 a piece. And then Lorna's like, well, you know, I still have my shipping coupon. I haven't used it, and I'm not going to use it. And so basically, you guys are doing a trade.
We traded. Yeah.
How cool is that? And I was like, hallelujah. Hallelujah. I was super excited because I'm like, I just want more poly bags.
Well, there's a new one coming out next month, and I'll be able to use that for Mia.
Mhm.
So you can have discorders, and I get all the stuff she doesn't want.
There you go. There you go.
Pretty much. Because I paid, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's nothing that I gave her that I paid $1 for. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's all going to be
it's all good stuff.
Good stuff. And like Katie was saying, like, I don't shoot for that higher price. I do shoot for that higher price. It's hard to find the goods for that higher price. So my store is very, I'll have like stuff for $100, but majority is between $40 and $60 because it's kind of where I live.
Right. Well, yeah, that's a good price for me. You didn't even pick anything that will sell for less than 25.
No, yeah.
So
I feel good about what I took. Thank you.
We'll
do that trade.
You're welcome. It's a good trade. It worked for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting rid of stuff that was I was sick of looking at. It was kind of stale. It was bleh, so. If you go to eBay shipping supplies that you get a coupon when you have a store that you can use toward free shipping supplies. You can also purchase them outright if you'd like to. I don't always suggest that because they are kind of pricey because they're branded with eBay and you can find cheaper supplies outright that don't have eBay branding. Unless you just want to spend more to have the eBay name on it, then please feel free. But when you have a store, they give you a coupon to purchase shipping supplies. And there's just many, many different sizes. And some of the sizes actually work for cubic shipping on for priority. That's all. That's the explanation.
Yeah, it's just really it's like how I use the 15 by 12 poly bag for shoes and stuff. It's good to know set sizes of boxes and bags that are going to work specifically for cubic because it just makes it easier for packaging and knowing what something's going to cost. Like if I have a jacket and I know it's not going to fit in a pad flat rate mailer, but I know I can fit it in the 12 by 15, it's like automatically I know it's going to cost me less than $9 to ship it. So it helps with pricing and stuff like that.
Yeah, Susie, I can't we can't answer your questions about templates, because we don't use them. I don't use a template. I don't use drafts. Neither does Katie. I list fresh for every listing. So she uses Sell Similar from one of her own listings usually, and I start every listing fresh. I just hit create listing and start fresh and start typing a title.
Size matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, Teresa says the 8 by 8 by 8 cube boxes ship at tier 3 cubic rate. So that's usually like around $10 to $11
it's
to
10,
ship
it's
across
10
the
and
country.
change. But yeah, it's a great box. It's also, just for example though, you can also use the 7 by 7 by 7 box from USPS that ships at the tier 2 rate. So depending on the size of that item, if it fits in the 7 by 7 by 7, I use that for mugs quite a bit. And that is a tier 2. So anyway, I'm going to get some of the new box sizes, and I actually like the really big boxes that they have because I do ship a lot of things that I will ship through FedEx, or I'll ship Parcel Select or something that are bigger boxes that eBay has that you can't get through priority. So
yeah. So Stephanie wants to know, for the new USPS shipping on eBay, will I have to start putting the bag dimensions? Silly question, I'm sure. It's not silly. You know what? In a very perfect world, I've said this before, in a very perfect world, you really should have the weights and dimensions for everything that you sell, every single listing, no matter what it is. You should have the actual dimensions and weights in there. Where it is crucial is if it's going to go over the size. That's
the 12 by 12 by 12.
Yeah. So bigger stuff, really make sure. So like, for instance, if you don't have any of those dimensions in right now, I would start going through your store, starting with the bigger stuff first and making sure that you have accurate dimensions put in. For me, because of what I sell, t-shirts and jackets and things that go in poly mailers that are smaller, I don't have dimensions in my stuff, and it doesn't really matter right now. Who knows? Maybe at some point there's going to be something that will happen where it has to be done, and then I'm going to be like hating life. But yeah.
Hey, Chris, just got back from a trip from Ireland. I'm so jealous. I hope you had fun. Kim Davis, unlike you, I start fresh with every listing because every listing is different. I don't do any multiples. Everything I have is new and different. Katie will do, 500 t-shirts. So it's very easy to do a Sell Similar and t-shirt, and then you just change your different, your name, your title, and your measurements or whatever. But I'm selling so many different things that the only time I'm doing Sell Similar is if I'm listing. If I do the same thing, maybe I have 10 pairs of jeans I'm listing one day, I will do Sell Similar that particular day with those listings. But in general, I don't.
Chris, we have had the sweet heat Skittles. They're yummy.
Ooh.
I think they're really yummy. They have that. Remember when we had those? They were kind of hot. The little spice to them, a little kick.
Yeah, they were good. I like those.
Sounds good.
Let's see. Emily, is there a calculator for the new rates? As the eBay memo said, it primarily was for lighter items. You might want to go back a couple of videos and watch our video about the dimensional rate changes. We went really in depth into it, Emily. It was a couple of weeks ago. It was a Wednesday video, but it's not for lighter items. It's for bigger items. It's about, well, it can be light. It doesn't matter. The weight is the weight is irrelevant. Basically, it has to do with dimensional sizing, not weight.
It's gonna. I think with what they said, lighter items. The key it was that where it's gonna be the biggest change and maybe kick in the gut is for super light, like light but very large items, because once it goes over a certain size, they go by dimensional weight. So something could only weigh 5 pounds, but because of the size, you could be paying for 20 pounds to ship it. So it could make a huge difference. That's kind of the idea of it.
Yeah. Lauren Ashley. No, I don't pick a similar listing for a draft. I create everything from scratch personally. I don't go to solds. And the reason why I don't do that is because, first of all, my listings are much better than 99% of everybody else's listings that I see out there. And I know that sounds cocky, but it's true. I'm not saying it's better than everybody's, but better than 99% of the other listings. And I don't want somebody else's crappy listing.
I use sell similar from my own listings for the most part. And so here's the thing, like, let's say when I'm doing a t-shirt, like, of course it's easy to do sell similar from a t-shirt, but also let's say I'm doing a t-shirt and, you know, because I do a lot of vintage t-shirts, I end up with a decent amount of like Harley Davidson or any kind of like biker t-shirts. So let's say like earlier I've listed a Laughlin River Run t-shirt, like a 90s Laughlin. So I went and grabbed another biker t-shirt I had, did a sell similar of my own, because I do, there's in the item specifics, there's a section that says featured graphics. And that's the way that you can add keywords. So if I sell similar from one of my own listings, I already have keywords in those item specifics, like biker, motorcycle, stuff like that I'll add in there. And if I do a sell similar, it's already filled out for me, and I just need to add a couple more. So it works.
DJ, you can go to FedEx to get an estimate on shipping cost. You don't need an account to do that, but you're going to be getting rack rate. So what I mean by that is you're going to be getting that full retail rate for their estimate, where if you're using FedEx through eBay has like a 20 or 25% discount that they're getting that they pass on to you for FedEx. So you're not going to be getting an accurate estimate. Bridget asks, what is the average amount of items do you list a week? I'm like 75 to 100 items a week. You're about the same.
Maybe a little bit less than you. Yeah, Jen says if I use sell similar from someone else's listing, I sort solds from highest sold to and use that. I do the same thing. So when I do have
I will do that sometimes because I'll copy their title sometimes.
When I do have something that isn't like anything I've done before, which isn't super often, I will go highest to lowest sold, and the ones where I think the keywords look pretty good. I mean, I still completely rework the title, so it is because I have a very specific way that I create my titles, but I'll use some of their keywords. But I just do that because I'm not going to go back to the page where I have to like start. I do it completely different from her, but that's just it's however it works for you that like you feel comfortable with is the way she does it.
I don't do a sell similar, but I will go and find if it's something that I'm trying to get like the highest price. Yes, I'll do the same thing. I won't hit a sell similar from there, but I will copy their title and I will create my own listing and put their title and then tweak the words so I can use. So I'll do that. Yeah.
I think the biggest difference really though is that she sells everything. And so she will have something, like almost every listing that she does a lot of times is going to be something completely different that she's never listed before. And so it makes sense to do it the way that she does.
And I can create a brand new listing from scratch, start to finish in under 3 minutes.
Yeah, because that's the way she does it. So she just has dialed in like her method for doing it. If I tried doing it that way, it'd probably take me 3 times longer just because I haven't honed in on that style of doing it. So that approach. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking about adding pictures too, but yes, by adding pictures that are already done, you know, if I have photos already done, start to finish creating a fresh listing, 3 minutes.
Yeah. But everybody has their own way and you change it and stuff. So I mean, obviously, the fact that we do ours completely different just shows that it's like everybody's going to have their own approach.
Yeah, and lots of
work
people.
for them.
And I can't in a million years figure out. I don't do drafts. I don't know how to use. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not going to create listings and do drafts from my phone. I find it completely cumbersome. So, everybody does everything different.
But Lorna, you do like what, 75% of your listings you do from your phone?
Mm-hmm. I do all the pictures on my phone. If I'm in the store and I'm gonna, like, I look this up in the store and I'm gonna buy it, I'll just push sell similar so that it's there. And then when I go home, I take all the pictures, I put them in the app, and then I sit down, do all the measurements, and I list.
And you can list fast. Like you bust through so many in a day.
I can do about 30 a day if I focus.
Yeah.
My dog distracts me and my pretty
Social
flowers.
media, and stay away from everything like we all do. We all get so distracted by everything.
But it just shows you can do it in any number of ways and be successful at it and be fast. It's just a matter of like what works for you.
I used to do what Katie does. I have like so many notebooks of like everything written down with what the title was going to be, the material content, the measurements, everything. And then I would sit down, or I would take all my pictures, and then I would sit down and do it all there. For me, I did that for many years, for like 3 years. And then once I got a good phone that has a great camera, stopped using a camera, started using my phone more. And then I didn't use the app when it first came out because it wasn't that good. It's much better now. Now you can do pictures right there and take as many as you want, like right in the app. So it's so fast. I don't have to like upload anything.
Jen, you know what? Adding dimensions don't matter if you're not using calculated shipping. You're right. It doesn't. If you already have your shipping and handling price, it is what it is. You're not missing anything. If you're using free shipping everywhere, or if you're not selling anything oversized, or if you're not using calculated shipping in any way, shape, or form, then no, you don't need to add your dimensions.
Yeah.
You're going to have to add them at some point when you sell the item, when you actually ship the item. So it depends on when you want to add them. Do you want to add it as you're listing it, or do you want to add it as you ship it? So
I will say though, Jen, so, I don't have my dimensions because of the stuff I sell isn't big enough for it to change what the prices are or anything like that. But I will say that I have everything else in, even though I have free shipping on everything. I like it when I go to do my shipping and I do bulk shipping because I'll have multiple items shipping. I want all of my stuff to already be pre-populated with the right. So like it already pre-populates like for first class because of the weight. It's already the right amount. It's already the right amount for me because I'm doing padded flat rates for those items. So I do like having the more you have in your listing that's accurate, when you go to do your shipping, it'll already be ready to go and have it be set to the right amount. But I mean, that's just a preference thing. So,
yep. And then, Teresa says she takes photos of everything. She doesn't write anything. I don't write anything down either. Katie writes everything down. I don't write anything down. I list start to finish in front of me. I take my measurements as I'm listing.
Yeah.
All at the same time. I don't touch anything and do everything 3 times. I take the photo, or Dana takes the photos, and I will sit down, do my research, do my everything start to finish once. I touch it once. I weigh it. I put my, I do everything once.
And I split mine up.
But I only touch my stuff once too, because it's like I take the picture, I measure, weigh it, and it goes away. Now I'm not writing out my whole titles. I literally have. So I have a Dragon Ball Z.
Scratch.
It says Dragon Ball Z large. I know that's a T-shirt, Dragon Ball Z T-shirt. And then my title is going to be a little bit longer than Dragon Ball Z large. But I know what that is, and all my pictures are automatically uploaded to Google Photos. So when I'm doing a listing, my photos are right there, and it's all in the same order, and so it's really fast. So for me, there's been a few times where I've had to measure at my desk, and I hate it. I hate it. The flow doesn't work for me, and so it's just a matter again of finding the flow that's going to work for you.
Well, you guys have a really great setup downstairs. It's perfect for what they do. Vicki packs on the same counter she measures on. I mean, everything flows in their living room. I don't have that flow, and because my boyfriend we're not like this, I do have to separate my time. So I'll photo before he gets home, do dinner, all of that stuff. But then I have a bin of the stuff that I've photoed. I sit it right next to me, and then while we're watching a movie together, because I can't just sit and watch a movie. I gotta tinker with my hands and fidget like Vicki over here. I fidget. I'm a fidgeter, just like her. And
This is why I have squeezy things, and she's always yelling at me to stop touching stuff. And yeah.
Oh, it's Dana.
It's Dana.
The dogs are going to start going nuts.
The dogs are going to go bonkers in a minute.
So yeah, I do my work in 2 different shifts. Excuse me. So I have to do it that way. But I mean, if I had this working system like they do, I would just touch it once. I would be like Vicky, sit down in my office, do it one time, get it done, be done by 7. But it just doesn't work that way for me. But you gotta find what works for you.
I don't pre-pack items because I just have too many items. Pre-packaging takes up too much space. If you have the room to do that, I know plenty of people that do it. If you have small items or if you sell all the same type of thing, pre-packaging looks super neat and easy to pull. I've seen lots of people where it looks great, putting things in bags and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't work for what I sell. It would just take up way too much space and time. But Katie doesn't either. I don't think Lorna does either.
It's too much time. I tried that. There's a YouTuber that I used to watch, and he would package every item and write the custom label number on it and put it in the bin, and then you just can't see anything. You just got to find the numbers, and just took too much time.
Different people have different ways, because I know like Rally Roots, all their stuff is prepackaged.
Yeah, I love their packing,
but
they also have a warehouse
and a full-time assistant. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, 2, right?
2.
His brother works for them too.
A part-time and a full-time.
Yeah.
2 employees. So yeah.
When you're doing this on your own, the only thing I could say
too. Lori's like, I don't like to pre-pack because someone's going to ask something crazy, like how far apart are the buttons.
Yeah,
it's true. It's true. You get that one ridiculous question. You're like, oh Jesus, what? Of course, I'm not going to have that in their description.
But if I would give like one piece of advice that I didn't take myself long time ago was use a system like the custom label field and label things. Like I was telling the girls, I spent so much time last summer organizing almost 5,000 items and putting them into bins. But I'm glad I did, because now my boyfriend's at home. He's shipping for me. He goes to A01 and finds the shirt that's there. They're not individually packed, but it's in the bin. So, and he found all my items last night in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, Teresa has a very amazing organizational system. She's done a video on it, and it's been in the Boss Facebook group if you were to search. I know where everything is. So I have 2,500 items. I can pull any one of my items within 30 seconds. I know where everything is.
Yeah.
So
you have it like all my t-shirts are together, but they're in bins by size, and then all my jackets are hanging up. And so it really doesn't take that long to pull everything because it's organized. It's just not, it doesn't have, so there is an inventory system to a certain extent. It's just not.
Yeah, I keep items
I don't
together.
do labels or anything like that. So, but
with you, it's really easy. You have shoes, jackets, t-shirts.
So like
now it's like,
I'm doing
so many t-shirts all over.
Well, I do keep items together.
Yeah, me too. I like all my books are together. All my dolls, like everything's together.
And I do so many t-shirts now. So let's say on a Monday, let's say I have 15 t-shirts that are going out. I will actually do, especially because I have eBay and Etsy, I write down on a piece of paper, and it's real quick, and I just go by size, small, medium, large, extra, or whatever, and do real quick like shorthand of what everything is, because the bins are by size. So I'm like, oh, I've got 3 small t-shirts. I've got 1 bin that's for small t-shirts, and I know what those 3 ones are, and I just go through real quick, grab them 1, 2, 3, and then I go to the next one, and I grab those, and it makes it really super fast.
Yeah, so I have the good luck system for my inventory. Yeah, it'd be good luck if someone else had to find my crap. That's for sure. Actually, Katie did for me last year. When I went to camp, I went by myself. I was gone for 10 days, and she did my shipping for me. And I think she maybe texted me for 2 items that she wasn't able to find.
Because the way she has hers organized, even for me, it was
fairly easy for her to find, because it was.
And Dana, didn't she one time do yours too, or?
No,
helpful?
She's here and there.
She's had to pull maybe 1 or 2 things when for a question or to pull something that
All right, so it's noon now, guys. We got to get going. We're gonna be heading out to get some lunch and then go do some more shopping. And so I saw somebody said that they wanted to see some sourcing video with Lorna. I am gonna take the camera out today and
tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll take it out today and tomorrow. So
we're way behind on sourcing videos.
I know.
We filmed like 3 or 4, and they're just not. They never went up.
Well, mostly it's just it's like the follow-ups on the hoarder house and stuff like that. But Anyway, so I will take some video today and tomorrow, guys, and we'll get that up at the end of the week.
Oh, we got Jerry Pendleton at the end.
What up, Jerry? What? Sneaking on in at the end. All right, guys. So we will see you later. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. We'll see you on Sunday. If you watch the show on Sunday, we'll show you all the cool stuff that we find since we're going to be shopping it up. We're shopping today. We're doing tomorrow and Friday. We're doing garage sales. What?
I'm really excited for that. My flight is.
I may actually have a death pile after this week.
I know, right? All right, guys. See you later. We're going to continue on with Lorna Palooza. Bye.
Bye, guys.